I'm James from Gippsland Beehives, and in this video I'm just going to show you how I make sustainable beehives out of timber that I mill myself. So I've got my two kids here with me watching this video. They feature in some of it as well, Sophie and Finn, so they might speak up at some stage and ask a question, who knows. This is my mill, and what I'm doing here is I've got a cypress log on the mill. It's needed to be removed from a farm in Gippsland, so I offered to come and mill it up for beehive boards, and also gave the farmer some posts and bits and pieces. This was a particularly good log because it didn't have many branches on it, so the grain was nice and clear, and it was reasonably wide. It was about a 500mm diameter log, so I got some nice wide boards from it. I use the boards for making the boxes of the beehives, but also the lids, and my lids need to be 360mm wide, so having a nice wide log is essential if you're going to make beehive lids.
How much do you mill?
How much
Logs do you mill at the mill?
I might do about 4 or 5 logs a day when I'm milling.
Okay.
And maybe, I don't know, 50 logs a year or 60 logs a year, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes a bit more. With this log, I ended up with some bits in the middle that I couldn't really use for beehives, and that became posts. So I can use a log for a whole range of stuff, and then the bits that aren't much good for beehives, I usually make posts or something like that out of, because cypress is a really durable timber, so it's really good for posts. After I mill all the boards, I need to dry them out for about 6 months, and they need to be racked out properly so that airflow can go through and dry them all out. And once they're dry, I can take them into my shed and start making beehives.
What do you dry them with?
Well, they just dry out in the open. The air just dries them, and when their moisture content is below about 10%.
How long does it take to dry?
Depends on the weather, but usually about 3 months in summer, maybe 6 months, and then if I mill it in the winter, I usually leave it for 12 months. What I'm doing here is making it all the same dimensions, so I put it through that thicknesser and make it all 25mm thick, and then I use that spindle moulder to cut some rebates for the boxes to be joined, and then a little rebate at the top, and that's where the frames sit.
So do you sand the beehive, do you sand the timber to make the beehives with?
At the very end I sand the corners, but that thicknesser makes them nice and smooth. And then what I'm doing here is assembling them. So I put them together with wood glue and screws. I use 5 screws at each corner and an exterior wood glue. So these boxes are very, very strong, and they'll last for, 30 years or more, because it's such a durable timber, and it's a very strong joint like that. And after I've put it all together, you guys helped me with the next step.
Yeah, we helped you do the thing where you took this video.
Yes. Yeah, so we bought all the hive components outside. Here we have some ventilated bases. So some of my bases have a screened bottom board with a closing board. So that allows ventilation for the bees in summer, and it can be closed off in winter for when they need to stay warm. Also had some lids, so also there are some ventilated lids, and sometimes the lids are solid, and they were those lids that I was talking about that I needed really wide boards for, because they're 360mm wide. And what we're doing is heating up some linseed oil. That's just raw linseed oil, and I get it nice and hot. It's actually pretty close to its fire point, so it can spontaneously combust. But once it's really, really hot, then I dip all the hive components in that bucket of hot linseed oil, which they soak it all up, and then that makes them even more durable, so they're going to last even longer.
So what do you make the oil with? Do you make it with just melted wax?
Oh no, that's just linseed oil. So it's just made from linseeds. So it's just pressed out of their little shells and things.
How long did this whole process take?
The dipping bit?
Yeah.
I think that took us about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours by the time we heated up the oil, moved them all outside and then stacked them all on the back of the truck. It's good to do it on a nice day because the oil can soak right into the timber even after they're finished in it being dipped. And also some of those I branded. You remember I heated up my brand and I stamped that into the beehives as well. And then we had some leftover things that we needed to dip in there, those bird nesting boxes. So that's them all finished on the back of the truck. I think we had quite a few this time round, and that's what the screen bottom board looks like. That's what one of the lids with my brand looks like, and then a couple of the boxes.
Can I listen first, Dad? Can I?